In this video, we're going to learn about the Argand diagram. So I'm going to introduce what the Argand diagram is, basically a visual way of representing a complex number as a 2D point or a vector. And we're going to see some of the really useful ways in which we can use an Argand diagram to increase our intuitions about complex numbers and aid some of our problem solving. Let's have a look at what the Argand diagram is. So suppose we had this complex number, z plus 3i. Well, a geometric way of representing this is on something called the Argand diagram, which is a two-dimensional plane, very similar to coordinate axes, on which what is usually our x-axis is now our real axis, and what was our y-axis is now our imaginary axis. And so what we do then is we say this number, which is 2 plus 3i, has a value of 2 in the real direction, so let's say that's 1 and 2, and a value of 3 in the imaginary direction, so 1, 2, 3, and so we place it here. Now, complex numbers represented on the Argand diagram are sometimes represented as points, and they're sometimes represented as vectors, so just a line going to that point. So this point here is just 2 plus 3i, and you can think about it as having the coordinates 2, 3, where 2 is the real part of the number and 3 is the imaginary part. You sometimes see these as the real part of z and the imaginary part of z. So that's what an Argand diagram is. It basically takes a complex number and plots it as a point on something very similar to coordinate axes. Turns out to be an extremely useful way of thinking about complex numbers, and we're going to explore it in quite a lot of detail. So let's play around with these two numbers. If z is 3 minus i and w is 2 plus 2i, let's represent the following on an Argand diagram. So where's z? Well, z is 3 minus i, so that's 3 along and 1 down. So z is here. And let's just indicate that as well. There's z. And w, well, w is 2 plus 2i, so 2 along and 2 up. w is here, and so that is w. Okay, what about zw? Well, let's work out what that is. zw is 3 minus i times 2 plus 2i. Feel free to work this out on your calculator if you like. So 3 times 2 is 6. Negative I times 2i, that's minus 2i. You get 6i from that. And then negative I times 2i is plus 2. And so in total what we have is 8 plus 4i. So if we plot that, 8 plus 4i, we find it's here, and so that is z times w, zw. Now a few observations, and we'll make this a bit more formal later on, is that when you multiply two complex numbers, their product is, well, it's longer, that's one thing. Now, in fact, the result we'll find later on is that its length is actually just the length of these two things multiplied. And notice that it sits between the two. Okay, what about this? What about I times z times w? Well, I know that z times w is 8 times 4i, so I times z times w is just I times 8 plus 4i. So if we expand this, what do we get? Well, I'm going to do, so I times 8 is 8i, I times 4i is minus 4. So written in the more conventional way, that's minus 4 plus 8i. So where's that? Well, minus 4 plus 8i. So that's all the way up here. Now, again, all of the real details of this will come to in another video, but what you might notice is that I times zw has the same length as zw, but it just seems to be rotated around. How much has it been rotated? There's actually a 90-degree rotation. What about z over w? Well, z over w is 3 minus I over 2 plus 2i. And remember, to express this in standard a plus bi form, we multiply top and bottom by the complex conjugate. So 2 minus 2i, and then 2 minus 2i here. So on the top we have 3 times 2 is 6, and 3 times minus 2i is minus 6i. Negative I times 2 is minus 2i, and then negative I times negative 2i is 2i squared, which is minus 2. And then underneath we have 2 times 2 is 4. The imaginary parts cancel, and 2i times negative 2i is plus another 4. So in total what we have is 6 minus 2, so that's 4, and minus 6i minus 2i is minus 8i, and that's all over 8. So more simply, that's a half minus I. So that's going to be half along and half I down. So that was here. So this one here, that was z over w. And so notice that the lengths of that one shrunk this time. Okay, so that's a bunch of different complex numbers plotted on the Argand diagram. Here are some more. Now I do encourage you to pause and try this one yourself if you can. So let's first plot w. So 1 plus I. So 1 along and 1 up. Here's w. So what about w squared? So that is 1 plus I times 1 plus I. Expand this and you have 1 times 1 is 1. I times 1, so that's plus 2i. And then you have I times I, which is I squared, which is minus 1, so it's just 2i. So w squared is just here. 0 along and 2 up. So that is w squared. How about w cubed? Well, at this point I'm just going to cheat a little bit and use my calculator. So do feel free to work through the expansion on this if you like. But when you expand this, you get minus 2 plus 2i. So let's see where that goes. Minus 2 plus 2i. So that's w cubed. Now this is a great time to start making predictions and trying to spot patterns. Where do you think w to the 4 is going to go? Well, let's work it out. So again, I'm just cheating, doing this on the calculator, but do feel free to pause and work this out yourself. When you work out w to the power 4, you get minus 4. So that's just here. That's a purely real number, no imaginary part to that. And we really are starting to see a bit of a pattern here, right? There was w, there's w squared, there's w cubed, there's w to the 4. Maybe you can make a prediction about w to the 5. Well, if you've worked it out, you're going to find that w to the 5 is minus 4 minus 4i. And that is here. So there's a lovely pattern here, and this is something that we will explore in other videos. But just a quick observation, the length of the lines is getting longer and longer each time you raise it to a higher power. And then the angle it makes, something we'll explore again in another video, well, it just seems to be moving round by the same amount. It's 45 degrees actually, further round each time. What about w to the minus 1? Well, what is that? That's 1 divided by w. And again, you know how to work this out now by multiplying top and bottom by the complex conjugate. So you multiply top and bottom by 1 minus I. And if you do that, or if you cheat as I did with the calculator, you get a half minus a half I. So that is half along and half down. Now, did that one break the pattern? Well, not really, because we've got w to the 1 here, and of course you've got w to the 0 here. W to the 0 is 1. So we really do see this clock-like behaviour as it ticks round. So that's the Argand diagram, very similar to coordinate axes and a very useful way to represent and think about complex numbers.